I think it's funny. In the end, yeah, it's just blazing. Like,
Yep.
it's too funny.
I'm just gonna start buying them by the box. So I've been buying zigzags. Like I buy them half a dozen packs at a time, and I'm just like, it's it's I go through them fast enough, and then I was just out in the hotel room in Vernon there, and it was like ran out, and I couldn't find even emergency zigzags or anything like that. So I figure if I just start buying them by the box, and then you can throw a handful over here and a handful over there, and then there should be zigzags around at all times, right? Makes sense. See, that's how I'm starting to think in my old age, there, fellas.
Yeah.
It's just after 6. So if anybody's wondering, I got my dad down here, just over to the side here. He's rolling a joint, coming down to smoke one. So.
Cool.
Nothing wrong with that.
It just went off a few minutes ago. And I had turned the timer back on so I get some backlighting over here. Well, yeah, light my face up a bit so you can see it on the screen. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm ignoring you. Rick, how you doing?
The hell's up with that?
Well, it'd be rude to ignore him in his own house. That's but he's right. It wouldn't be the first time. Probably wouldn't be the last either.
So that was a good drive today, Brad.
Yeah, I left Vernon at about 1:45 this morning. Made it to 100 Mile at about 4:45, I think it was, and scooped the kids up. Was on the road within half an hour or so, and then got to Prince George at about 9 o'clock out to the parents' place. So,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
How far are you from Prince George?
Not far. Just outside of town on the Hart Highway. Yeah. So, yeah, gonna have a nice, relaxing night with the or weekend with the family.
Excellent, man. Excellent. How long you been growing, Drizzt?
I've been growing on and off for a lot of years, but basically this is probably my third grow that I've actually stuck with it and plan to keep going at it. First one went okay. The second one, I ended up tilling the plants because my pH meter took a shit on me, and it says, "Oh yeah, it's 3.8." I'm like, 3.8. Christ, I need to make it up. So I put some drops in. Oh, now it's 4.2. Okay, I put some more in it. Now it's 5.6. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good. Okay, close enough. I'm not going to go any more than that. Now I poured it on my plate. The next day, they were all dead. Pew, blat, done.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That's heartbreaking.
I was like, yeah, I mean, it just killed me. So I had to start from scratch, and we ran out of anything we had, and now we're buying it at the dispo until this one gets done and start all over again.
Yeah.
So that's what fucked up pH did in 24 hours.
Oh yeah, man. When you put too much pH, your pH is too high. Apparently the meter took a shit. I mean, it was working fine, and then next thing I know, boom, it says, oh, it's low. So, and I thought, well, okay, it's been working great. So I need to put more. Drop. Oh, it's getting better, but still ain't there. Okay, drop. Well, it still ain't there, but I'm just close enough. I'm not going any higher than that. Well, it didn't matter because by then it was already way too high. And I just poured it on. It was like pouring acid on freaking plants. They just died. I fed them like, it was probably 8 o'clock at night, and the light went off. By the next morning when the light came on, they were all dead. Yeah, done.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah.
a couple of things that, since we're on the topic, even, we are live. Okay. Hey, Sammy, how are you? Just a couple of things that came to my mind when you were talking about the pH. One, you know what? It doesn't hurt to have at least 2 testers at your disposal. And if you're in doubt, then you've got another pH tester you can try right away. I know this happened to me a while ago where, because like we know roughly what the pH of our water is. So when suddenly you get a really weird reading, the first thing you might suspect is a faulty testing. So it's fucking dumb. Okay, that's enough. So having a backup tester, even if they're those cheap little strips or something to compare to, is a good thing. Another thing is I know I'm bad at it, but when you're doing a test, if you have to make an adjustment, sometimes you should wait, 15, 20 minutes before you make that adjustment. I know we don't always have that time, but if you just put in some pH up or down, and then you're doing another test immediately, it can give you a false reading too.
I agree, but like I said, this time I'll tell you what. I just started with distilled water, and I've not even checked pH once this whole grow. I just used distilled water and put in my newts, and I haven't had a problem. I figure that's easier to do. I mean, really, what I want to do is go to living soil, but I just haven't had the ability to go get all the crap I need, because I don't have a grow store just handy like you guys do in a big C's,
Are you using microbes?
No.
Because they will help you. They're forgiving when it comes to pH as well. If you get a good dose of microbes in there. I'm not being endorsed by them, but I use Recharge, and I know it's pretty readily available in the US.
Well, I use Recharge, but I thought you meant microbes, like go out and buy something like Great White. That's microbes to me. Recharge, I don't really consider that microbes, even though I know it is. But
okay, well okay, well that's what I use that as well. But
okay,
help you with your pH as well.
Yeah, like I said, I mean that it was just the fact that the meter went bad, and I should have known better than to put. I mean, in the end, it was like 6 drops that I put in there. I put like 3, tested it, put in another 3. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm close, but I'm not quite there yet. And I'm like, you're close enough. Well, it was like, had to be way over close, because it just fried them, man, instantly.
Yeah, a tough way to learn that lesson.
Yeah, it is. But like Fluffy, he's like, pH meter, what's a pH meter? And I'm like, yeah, I know, buddy. I'll tell you what, if I was having living soil, I'd be asking that question too. They just water, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to say hi to everybody in chat there and let everyone know just how much we love them there. So I just I heard someone there mention I think it was Drizzt about starting over there not long ago, and I'm right about to do the same thing. So I might probably by the time we do the Sunday morning show, I'll have ordered my cannons and grow tents and possibly CO2 system, although I might actually go and buy that in person where I can actually talk to someone. I'll probably go talk to Brandon down at Cariboo Garden Supply there, Rick, and because then I can actually, because I don't know about that stuff, right? Like when it's a grow tent, okay, I got an idea of which one I want. It's, order that, bring it home, assemble it kind of thing. Same with the cannons, right? That kind of stuff is easy enough to figure out, but having never run CO2 before, I don't know much about it. it just makes sense that, like ask these questions. So I'm buying the right stuff and not buying stuff that I don't need necessarily. So we're gonna go.
Well, I tell you what, there's a thing on Rusty Jeff did a thing about CO2. So if you want, look for it on his web, the Grow From Your Heart podcast. But I mean, I've heard good things about it, but I also hear it's expensive, and I don't have the money to actually play with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's typically I don't either, but just this time I'm in a position where I can make it happen. So I'm just gonna jump at it. So, and this is
What?
the beginning, going to be the beginning of me starting over. I've checked in on, well, let me show off some of this. So this is a Charlotte's Web that I pollinated with, or actually, I think I can even put it on the speaker to let people see it a little bit better. But this right here is a Charlotte's Web that I pollinated with a Violator. That was the Violator crossed with Chemdog Afghani pollen. So I basically, when I made the F2s for that batch, I threw some Charlotte's Web in there, and so I got some seeds in there. So we'd like to try out some of these because we keep talking about how much we want some CBD and THC ratioed stuff. This is just one of the Violator crosses right here, but it's all, impregnated and looked nice and fat and smells really good. Has almost a lemony smell to it, which is I'm kind of wondering where that came from, because that's not typical in any of the other plants that I've grown out of that line. So it's interesting. So that's coming up, and maybe I might have to jump on the pulse monitor bandwagon. We'll see. That might be a delayed expense that'll come at a later date. So we'll just see how far to jump on this. But it's going to be exciting times around here.
The CO2 is just like initial cost mostly too, isn't it? Like you buy the regulators and everything like that. All your
I'm really hoping so. I'm hoping, like, if what I'm gonna do is either take a 4x4 or a 5x5 tent and just try and actually spend the money on the best tent that I can. I think that I can afford, so that it's as close to a sealed environment as I can get it. And we'll just see, because I would think in a 4x4 or 5x5 space, a tank of CO2, I would think would last a fair while for a 12-hour day, right? And then
you would think so.
Yeah, I would think. Eric seems to be nodding in approval with that, so I seem to be at least on to something.
I would think it should last. I'll take a guess at least a month.
Oh yeah, see, that's to me is well affordable, and it's just really the startup cost is the.
I know you got to have a monitor thing too, because you got to monitor that all the time, make sure it doesn't have too much in there, too little in there.
Yeah,
I know that if it goes up and down all the time, it's not good. It's like wasting your money.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things I'm going to look at when I do monitors and when I start talking to people about this is I'm going to weigh in the option of a pulse, because that can control the CO2 outlet too, or is that just monitor everything?
Yeah,
straight up monitors. Okay, well, I'd be willing to bet there is some kind of thing that I could do from my phone to there with all the fancy Wi-Fi technology, so I could maybe look at that farther down the road. I don't know. We're getting a little bit spaced out on that one, I think, for now. But yeah, we'll just.
Well, that's what Indica's buddy is working on, is where you can control everything remotely. Yeah. Everything. Your water, your nutrients, your pH, CO2, everything. Yeah, the monitor monitors all that. The pulse monitor monitors all that stuff, but they don't. You can't make a remote adjustment. Where with Indica's thing, and from what he's saying, that device, it's not going to be overly expensive. I mean, to have the power to be able to control your room remotely is incredible. That's amazing. That's exciting. the monitors, what they're good for is you again, you can do that remotely, but it'll keep you informed as to what your humidity and temperature and CO2 and all that stuff is. The pulse, the pulse monitor will tell you remotely what your CO2 is. I've got the cheaper one, and it only tells me humidity, temperature, and VPD. Well, and it's probably got a gazillion other things there that I haven't figured out because I've only had it plugged in for barely a week.
Yeah, it'll be fun figuring it out, I'm sure, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. While it's on my mind, hypothetical, are you there?
I am. Hello.
Hey, mister, how
Sorry,
you
I've got
doing?
I'm well. I've got the background up while I'm in the grow room today. As I'm still in my
Cool.
work
Right
uniform.
on, right
Don't
on.
want to out them too much.
Right
Don't
on.
want them to
Listen,
think that I think they support me.
yeah. The other day when we were talking, and you had mentioned that you came across a plant that it had a different smell from different areas within the plant. Is that correct? Or
Yes,
did I-
branch to branch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, nobody read my work shirt. The one that I was looking at was this one here. Basically between the two branches, I was like smelling this one over here, kind of a lower, just kind of hangs out over here with the CBDs. This one here is a hash ingot CBD. And so on this branch, it's more of a like lemon, lime, but like a little bit of that earth berry in there. And then was it this one? Yes, that one. The lime is gone out of it, and it's still got the lemon, but the berry pops a lot more. And that's two on the same branch, like, or two on the same plant. Not even the same strain, same plant.
Yeah, interesting. That's, and so
Yeah,
now,
that's
do you
definitely new to me.
theory? Do you have any
I'm sorry,
idea
run that by
like
me?
why that would be that way?
Nope. I mean, slight temperature difference maybe, or lighting intensity, but no, I don't have an honest, like, this is the definitive, here's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Nope, it's new to me. I love it though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a fan of variety, so if I can start having variety on the same plant, that'd just be perfect.
It's like grafting a fruit tree, you know, where you have like one variety of apple coming off here and a different one over here. And
Now, to my
Someone-
understanding, you can do that with cannabis. You can actually graft. I don't know how to do it, but you can graft a branch onto another plant, another cannabis plant.
Yeah,
You
I
can.
wonder how big.
Sorry. Sorry?
Plenty of videos and pictures on doing the grafting, because we've tried it a couple times, but it was always just kind of a half-assed attempt where you just kind of hack a slit in the branch and try and jam one in there and tape it up real quick. And since we've actually looked into it and done a bit of research on it to see, because I do like the idea of potentially having 2 or 3 different strains growing off of a plant. I think, like, from a novelty sales perspective, if a person was to be able to get into that and then sell off a 3 or 4 foot plant and just, here you go.
I look at it from the breeder side. Let me get each branch, tag each branch that I've grafted onto this tree, and then let me just do one run of pollen on this one plant and make all the crosses off of one singular plant.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it definitely a benefit when you're breeding for sure.
Then again, the time it would take to do all the grafting, I could have probably done all those crosses.
Your soul look up. Okay,
Especially in the solo cup.
Fluffykins in the house.
Yeah.
Fluffy!
Think about the freaky looking plant you could make grafting something on like that. You could have like, you know, crazy stretchy arms, sativas on like a little tiny bushy plant looking like a, because, you know, it's still bush out, I'm sure, but the branches would just, there'd be like random freaking alien antenna sticking out.
Yeah, you could have some fun.
I would think I would run like half the. All right, I'd want to run, if I was running 8 branches, I would run 2 at like an 8-week strain, 3 or 4 at like the 9 to 10-week strains, and then I'd run the 11 to 13s on the last 2 branches. That way I get a nice staggered harvest off of one plant.
That would be cool. That would
So
be
you
cool.
would the branches you would graft on would be the elder of the plant, right? Like the roots would be the youngest.
Yeah, I would put the let me think. I would put the longer the 11, 12 weeker at the bottom, and then the other ones in the middle, and the other ones at the top, and it would kind of grow up like I don't know.
Menorah.
That'd be
Hanukkah.
fun to look at though.
That's great until you wait too long and they all start dropping seeds and you can't figure out which ones are which.
Very fair point, sir. Very fair point.
Take a little fun out of it.
That's why you have that last bag there for your mysteries and your oopses. Like, oh crap, I forgot what I was breaking up because I'm stoned already. And then you just have your own little personal like mystery bag there. I've got mystery seeds that I give them out as freebies. I grow them myself just because I know what the father is. Why not play with it? I know that they're all good. So, if I have an open slot, I don't know what I want to grow and I'm being indecisive, I'll pop one of my mysteries.
Yeah.
All of mine work for me.
Yeah. Well, you at least you may not know what it is, but you know what you started with.
Exactly. I don't know necessarily what the mother plant is, but I know at least half of it's genetic. Just because I make it a point that I only play with one pollen at a time. So if I have, like, even in my collective jar right now, because I always skim a little off the top of all of them and throw it into a jar and save it for when I run out. So I have a collective jar, and that's all of my CBD cross in there. I know that regardless of what I pull out of there, if I find seeds, it's a 1-to-1.
So there is some organized confusion going on there.
As long as you're only playing with one pollen. The minute you have a second pollen and some oop seeds, you have no idea what you got.
Yeah. Okay, so 710's in the house, but he's supposed to be working. I'm just saying, okay? This isn't the fun police. I'm just saying you're supposed to be working.
What's up? What's up, DP? We love you, brother.
Oh, I lost my job because I couldn't let cannabis alone.
Yeah, but that's a pretty good reason to lose one if you're gonna lose your job. Like,
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I'm sure more than one person would step up and do an auction.
well, yeah.
It's only pissing me off if I think they're having more fun in chat than we are on Zoom. That's just the only thing.
Well,
okay?
I think that is often the case. Do any of you guys run AC Infinity fans?
I want to.
Because that's kind of, I'm looking at those, and what I want to know is they seem to have like your AC Infinities, but then they seem to have a quiet model on top of that. And I'm wondering, is it worth the money for the quiet model? The extra
Do you need it to be quiet?
Potentially.
Then I would pay for the quiet model.
Well, but is
I mean,
it
really,
actually
honestly, I would
quiet is
say it
what I'm
comes down to
wondering,
your
though.
needs.
Like how quiet is it? Like if it's if it's still like very hearable, it's just slightly less than the other one. Then it's not really worth it, right? In my opinion.
Right. I know AC Infinity has a pretty good reputation, and they were making fans, and then they moved their making of fans to the cannabis industry.
Okay.
Like they've been doing fans forever, and then they were like, "Oh, there's a lot of growers. We should make grow fans too."
Well, I know every time I
And
see
so they started doing.
anytime I see their videos, their commercials and stuff, they look fancy as hell. So,
Oh yeah,
like,
You know, Brad, you can
I've
do
got
that more
the
than one way
Vivison knockoff.
too. I've seen people have the fan outside the tent and then just run the hose in the tent. Or I've seen people mount them inside the tent on the ceiling and then vent them outside with just the hose going outside. So the tent itself would quiet the regular one down some, you know, I would think.
That's true. That's actually the setup I have going right now in this little 1 meter by 1 meter, 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot. Right up here, I've got this loud, old school, like iPower, big, loud centrifugal one, and that one I keep in the tent to keep it quiet. And then I've got the cheap $30 Vivison one that lasts about one run, and those ones are good for, well, I mean, they're $30. They're good for one run. They're quieter,
yeah.
but they don't move as much air.
Okay.
Yeah, that's number one is the cubic feet per minute. I mean, that's what we're going for.
Yeah. Oh, here's one of the Vivison ones. Ah, got it right in front of me. And I mean, they work. They move air, but it's not, you know, not quite as strong as those other ones.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, cause I have access to like some 4 and 6 inch and 8 inch, even 10 and 12 inch fans already. But like I said, if I'm starting over. I've made the decision. So it's, let's see what we can do. And
You know, I was talking with somebody within our group, and damn it, I just can't remember who, because I asked about the AC Infinity, and somebody in our group is using it or them.
I'm pretty sure actually, Dick or Steve has them. Uses one.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was explaining, and yeah, he was saying that they're really cool in the sense that they have temperature. Built-in temperature readings, and you can set them. So if your tent gets to a certain temperature, the fan can go on or off. And I think it's got its automatic speed control as well. It's yeah. Talk to Steve about it, but they
Okay.
sound really cool. Really cool.
They don't sponsor the show, but if you use Growcast 15, or they sponsor Growcast, not this show, but Growcast 15 will save you 15%.
Okay.
Oh, good to know.
They don't sponsor it yet.
Yeah, not yet, but hey, AC Infinity, you know, hit us up.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure we
try
can
that.
throw a plug or two your way anytime.
I'll take a 6-pack of cannons too if we're just, you know, throwing things out.
Yeah, I tried to score a discount on my Pulse monitor by throwing your name around, Caribou, but
They're like,
didn't give me a damn bit good.
Oh, you know what? I will give
Charge
Vivison
double.
a shout out. Y'all know how I said that my trimmer broke, my spin trimmer.
yeah.
And I bought it back in November. And bearing in mind that I'm in Prohibition land, so, you know, there's no sending this thing back. But I hit him up. I just shot him an email going, hey, so it started grinding. Here's what's broken with it. And they were like, oh, yeah, sure, we can take care of you. Can you shoot us a picture so we can see exactly, you know, what's specifically wrong? And it's looking like they're about to send me out another one. So, you know, everybody, I know that the cheap Chinese Amazon knockoff stuff generally don't come with customer service, but I can say Vivison does. They've also replaced the little 6-inch oscillating fans in my tent twice. Just from the motors burning out. So I'll speak for them.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, no, they seem to have a pretty good reputation. Yeah. Not to change the subject, but speaking of customer service, so I'll try to make a long story short. So I got a jersey, Pittsburgh Steelers jersey for my son for Christmas. Another little side story. Claypool, Chase Claypool, wide receiver for Pittsburgh, broke all kinds of records this year. He comes from the town that I grew up in Abbotsford, BC. Anyway, so I finally it was supposed to arrive around Christmas. Of course, it was late, and by the time it got here, Kyle wasn't here. So I just took it down to him about a week ago, and it was the wrong size. Maybe a week and a half ago, and it was the wrong size. So got it through Amazon, but there was a third-party seller, and so I tried to return it to get a replacement, and they said it was past the expiry date. But anyway, I thought, well, I'll try anyway. So I phoned them, and they looked after it. As a matter of fact, what it came down to was because they agreed to do a trade about a week ago, and I said, well, do I get an authorization return, or what's the deal there? And anyway, cut to the chase. I just got an email, and they said, never mind. Because of COVID, just keep the jersey, and we'll credit your credit card, and have a good day. So now I've got a double X Chase Claypool jersey for sale, a double X for sale here. So maybe I'll do an auction or something. Okay.
Be all right.
Wouldn't be caught dead in it. Not today, anyway.
Easy now. I'm not a big fan of Claypool. I don't know much about him, but don't be knocking the Steelers. There's nothing wrong with the Steelers now. Be nice.
I like the Steelers and have for a lot of years, like when they had like Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green and stuff on the defense and just smashing people. I'll never forget. I think it was the Buffalo Bills where they're playing this game, and you go you see the receiver running, and he goes up to catch the ball, puts his hands up, and he looks to the side, sees he's about to get nailed, and just brings his hands down, hoping he wasn't going to get hit. He's like, man, the defense just used to pound the hell out of people. I just love defensive-minded football. It's great, and they've always been good on defense for the most part.
Okay, here's how old I am. I remember seeing the game where that guy took George Blanda and put him backwards over his knee, right in the middle of his back. They threw the guy out of the game and fucked Blanda up for good, man. He was an old man then.
Yeah. Wow.
That's how old I am. I mean, that was probably 40 years ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wasn't around when that happened. Pretty sure that is before my time. I was late 81, so.
Yeah, Blanda. I mean, George Blanda was an old man back in the 70s, played for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like the old guy. He was like near 50 years old back then, still playing.
Yeah. Raider Nation. Love them. I love my Raiders. So I got some wonderful dabs beside me. I'm going to do some Mac 1 here, live resin that I picked up when I was out of town working. It's good stuff. Quite lovely. Been digging on it.
Blow that bullhorn.
I wish. I don't have it with me. I don't even know what it is, to be honest, but I totally would. But yeah, that thing's fun. Except for the people wearing headphones that aren't expecting it. Yeah.
It's like Tanazi's gong, man. You can hear that thing a mile away. It'll wake you up in a heartbeat.
All right, Caribou. So I know I said I wasn't going to do trimming tonight, but see, what had happened was
You ended up trimming.
well, so I was in that back tent and I was playing with them and stuff, and I kind of accidentally knocked down one of the corner ones and kind of broke it at the where the stem meets the soil. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim that up while we're on the phone, or while we're on the live.
Yeah. See, I
You're
do.
not, baby. It's just solo.
Just a sucker for the trim jail. He couldn't avoid it. You have to
Yeah, a little
yes.
bit. You know, I can't say no to it when it's there. It's just like, oh look, I can make my whole house smell amazing. Yep, I think I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that.
What I want to know is how many jars are in your stash?
A few variable sizes.
How many?
A few variable sizes. I've got a couple half gallons, couple quarts. Actually, lots of quarts, but you know that doesn't necessarily mean they're all full at once.
I was gonna say, man, for somebody that is trimming as much as you gotta have like a whole shelf thing just stacked with jars, man. Just boop, 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 boop.
I wish. Unfortunately, I smoke a lot, so I mean, I grow, you know, enough to where I can smoke regularly, but I don't normally have a whole lot left over. Right now, I'm into my last 2 ounces from the last run, and I am
Oh, wow.
drying and curing now. So nothing that I've cut down yet is ready to get. Some of it's getting there, but I mean, I could smoke it, but I don't want to. I want it to taste good when I do. I don't go in there twice a day to have it taste like shit at the end.
Yeah, you gotta let it breathe. Just like a good wine, it's got to breathe a little bit.
That's exactly it. All right, now can I set this up to where there's actual visual? Go on, but chop it out.
So I got one of these in the mail today. It's like the $14 ounce they advertise on cannabis.
Oh, that
How
Moon
is
Dragon guy?
I've been looking at it.
Pretty good.
Have
I
you
like it
tried
better
it?
than the last one.
Good.
Have you-
Yeah. I don't know. The wife and I had a good giggle there after we smoked it earlier because, you know, we like to just, anytime we get something new, we got to try it by itself, of course, to see how it is. And then
Yeah.
we'll mix it, you know. But I mean, so we just smoked a bowl of this Brevis. I hope I'm saying that right. Brevis, Brevis CBD. And it was good. It was smooth, you know, it tasted good. I don't know. And a couple minutes later, I mean, we felt super relaxed, but we just got giggly as can be. Like we were broke. Our laugh, our funny bone was broken there for a minute, and we were just, yeah. Our son was just, he just broke us. He was like it was the funniest anyway. Yeah, our son was karate chopping his sister, and it was the funniest thing ever. Like we shouldn't have been laughing, but man, it was so funny. He was wind up, yeah.
Shit. Right on.
Anyway,
It's kind of like when they say something they shouldn't, but it's like it was just said at just the right time where you laugh your ass off. You're like, okay, we can let it slide this time because yeah, that was good. It's my son turns 13 next month, and he's getting a pretty good with the quick wit and sense of humor, but he's got to realize is that you're still 13 years old, and you know there's a time and a place for everything. But it's great to see because he's always been the shy, quiet kid. You don't hear much from him, right? But now it's like when you do hear from him, it's awesome. I love it.
Tell you what, 13, that's when my kids started stealing my weed. You better watch out.
Yeah, I'm well aware those times are coming, and it's just I don't even know how to really necessarily approach that, like, because it's like, you know, like it's too young for that shit, but I was younger than that when I started smoking it, so like at the same time, who am I? There's a lot more education about the plant now than there was then. Not that I wouldn't be able to give it to them, right? That's you getting yourself a lot of shit here in Canada doing that. But like, what do you do? Like, cause like, well, when I grew up, getting caught smoking weed, I got my ass kicked for it. And hey, I don't beat my kids, never have. You know, so it's like, what do you, what would you even do to punish them? Like, it's, you know, kind of thing. It's just like, yeah, it's interesting. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't think he's there yet. And hopefully we get a few more years before he's in there, because
I never kicked his ass. I just told him, look, you're not going to steal my weed. You want weed, you're going to buy weed. I'm not going to be, you're not going to steal it from me. And I made sure I put it under lock and key from then on. He never got a second chance.
well, that's the thing. Like, it would have been a lot easier if my parents were, because my old man, he's smoked weed my whole life. And if they, and I was a thief. I stole his weed, and if it would have just been straight up, hey, keep your hands off mine, but you do yours, kind of thing. I think I would have got my ass kicked a lot less as a teenager, probably.
Hey, just to see if I'm crazy here, for those of us who had stoner parents, am I the only one who never stole my parents' weed ever?
Yeah,
Like ever, not a bowl, not a nothing.
yeah. Because
My parents were old school. They didn't get high.
Yeah.
My dad, I realized, did later on. Like, let me rephrase that. He did when I was younger, and then up until the point where like him and my sister got into it because he caught her smoking and she called him a hypocrite. So after that, he quit smoking, and you know, later on, my mom went through cancer and stuff, so she was smoking, and I had to make sure that she didn't have to pay for it because that's ridiculous. But so like I didn't have to steal my mom's, I was providing hers. And then as far as my dad, he didn't have anything for me to steal by the time I was, you know, of age to smoke, or you know, by the time I was smoking. And my mom kind of just took the, you know, kind of not necessarily a blind eye, she knew what was going on, but I could tell her like, hey, I'm going over here doing these things, pick your drug, whatever. That way she knew what I was on, who I was with, where I was in the event of an emergency. And I kind of want that relationship with my kids. Like, I don't want them to steal my weed, and I'm in a state where like obviously I can't just be like, here. But in the same, like, I would much rather them be smoking and tell me where the hell they're going to be and just be at home than feel like they need to lie to me, go off with people, get into a car accident because they can't just tell me, hey, we were drinking.
well,
You know,
I feel
I'd
like
rather be like, hey, I'm drunk.
I feel like
Come
when you
get me.
feel the need to hide everything, that's when you're gonna get into doing worse shit too, right? Like, I can sit there, like I said, I can condone stuff like cannabis use because I have a lot of knowledge on it and I get what it is, and it's not like when I grew up. Now when you have to sneak off to hide with everything, you hide like you know, like it's just, you know, when the kid smokes a joint after being told it's bad stuff his whole life, don't go there, don't know you're gonna become a loser, blah blah blah, and you smoke a joint, it really doesn't do that much, and then that's when you're like, oh well, it wasn't quite like they told me. Gee, what is cocaine?
I wonder what Coke's like.
What is it, et cetera, et cetera, and then that's where, you know, it's, we all know those stories.
Oh yeah, I am one of those
So I
stories.
feel
I'm
like
with you.
if we could educate, say, hey, this drug right here, it's not so bad. Yeah, you're too young to be doing it. But that stuff over here, that shit will ruin your fucking life. Which I could speak from experience on that. Don't go there. You just, you know, whereas growing up, it was just like they were all lumped together. You know, and it's
I grew up in the Dare days. Like, I remember him bringing the suitcase full of drugs for me to try. I mean, for me to look at and see what was bad.
I never got that.
Dude,
Oh man, it was great.
that I have to the Dare, I still remember Dare in 6th grade and going up to the table. You know, they had a display thing and they had this laminated sativa leaf. I mean, it was like, it was probably like 12 inches, you know, that, like, I mean, it was
Solid dinner plate.
I was like, wow. And then they had this bong, right? This bong was a Grim Reaper. And it was the coolest fucking thing I ever saw. I was like, that's so cool. Like, are you trying to discourage me or encourage me? I don't understand. I'm getting mixed signals.
Right?
Anyway,
Hey, where can I buy that
see
bong?
here, Yeah, right. I see here Eric Taylor is asking me if we found any seeds in our cherry purple, and unfortunately, I didn't think to really look. I just ground it all up like right away with the with this thing. So it, with an electric grinder. So we found some, but they were pulverized.
Ooh.
So I
Can't
was
eat.
just reading in the chat here. I was just reading when you mentioned Eric Taylor. They're talking about the relationship with smoking between parents and kids, and Eric says he used to steal his aunt and uncle's roaches.
There you go.
Yeah, Fluffy Kid said he started growing, so his kids didn't have to steal from him. He just let him take it.
That's great.
I just want to give a shout out to brother Shade. I guess he's watching. He just sent me a text message here. I work with this guy, and this brother works his ass off. And just what's up, man? Blaze a joint, brother. He's good shit. Good shit. Damn hard worker.
Right on.
I have one hell of a tree climber too, actually. This is like, wait, when people go up a tree for the first time, there's a lot of like, oh shit, going on, like, because it's awkward and you get freaked out. And this kid was just like up the freaking tree, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do that like that. But it's just cool.
You wearing shoes?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Was he one
Hazel.
of those kids who's
Excuse me.
climbing it with no shoes?
Dude, you want me to swing a chainsaw? You better hope that tree is a short one, because it's coming off on the ground level. Okay, there ain't no way I'm climbing that tree to cut that thing down. You better hope there's a clear path, because it's coming down.
I was just over at a buddy's house yesterday cutting pine trees down.
Well, it's a lot of fun once you're up the tree. It's just the getting up there sucks. It's not fun. Like it's a lot of work that goes into getting up there.
It ain't for this bad boy.
Caribou,
I'll
want to
tell you
move a
that
trip
right
down
now.
south?
Say again?
I said, you want to take a trip down south? I got some tree work I need done.
At some point,
I'll
I
have
would
you-
love to get down there. So
What's up, Grow Guy?
yeah, we got Grow Guy joining us here for the first time. It's like he's still got his audio working on that.
He made it.
Well, that's good.
Grow Guy, how you doing?
Caribou.
What's up, guys?
Grow Guy.
What's
Hey,
up,
guy? How are you?
I don't know if this is gonna work all the way. I'm making sure I got this going.
Yeah.
So far, I think it's working.
All right, all right. So what's up, guys? How's it been?
Oh, doing good, man. Just getting high on a Friday night. How are you? First
Same
time.
old stuff. We're hanging out, man. Sitting here, sitting at the shop. I decided to join up from down here tonight rather than go too far out.
Okay, that's cool.
Look, I got my YouTube in the background. That's why I'm hearing echoing.
So are you in like a head shop right now, or?
1 second, guys. Give me a second. Let me try to get my computer to figure out here.
It's all good.
There we go. My bad. I had my YouTube up in the background. Everything was echoing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yep.
Moment of silence for Grow Guy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, so this is my shop. This is where you hear Sweet Johnny talk about going to get all his grow equipment, all that good fun stuff.
Okay.
Sweet.
So what's the name of your shop if you want to shout it out and give yourself
I'm known as Herbal Essentials over in Dixon, Illinois.
Okay.
Tell you what, Johnny shouts you out all the time on Cannabis, buddy.
I agree. I see that all the time. I'm very grateful for it too. He introduced me to the app. He's the one that told me, hey, go check these guys out. Caribou and the gang's pretty cool. So I think I've been watching for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks now. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get in here and say what's up, get to meet everybody. See what's going on, man.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Could you? What are you using? A phone or a laptop or?
Computer.
Okay, I was wondering if you could give us some more. Yeah.
But I guess I could try to give a little walk around. I don't know if I can get this camera to zoom.
Maybe, or yeah, I don't know how it works, but maybe another time you could plug into your phone or something.
Give you a little quick shot of some of that there. That's our Illinois Plug Supply. It's a CBD company that we work locally with. They're a local hemp farm that's only about 20 minutes up the road, and they do some pretty nice things.
Wow.
We sell through about 1.5 pounds, give or take, a month worth of CBD and CBG flowers. So they do a great job. We 3 different strains sitting on the front counter. Given that I can't be an Illinois dispensary, it's the closest thing. Everybody comes in and says, "Hey man, I need some diet weed." So we have a great time with it though, man. We carry a little bit of everything. I started off as a glass shop. I started March 1st of last year, and as we all know, Corona hit. Literally, Illinois government shut us down March 20th. So it came a position where I was like, oh shit, 18 days of business. I just invested my life savings into the shop, and here I am, curbside only. We were inside of a little mini mall. Things got hectic. I moved locations. I'm now downtown in a really nice little shop. And yeah, things worked out. We're now doing grow equipment, CBD, a little bit of everything, man.
Okay.
Cool. Cool.
So you do grow equipment. Do you do tents or anything?
Don't know how well you can see him back there in the background, unfortunately. Here, I'll give it a little walk around. Let's just do this the easy way. So a little bit of bombs, a little bit of everything. We got the cases full of shit. And I didn't want to keep all the grow lights on, man, because I'd have blinded everybody tonight. But we got everything from grow tents, soils, nutrients, a little bit of everything back here.
Okay, what do you got for grow tents? Because I'm looking for grow tents right now. And I don't know much about them. I just I need light proof is what I'm aiming for is the main thing, and quality.
Yes,
I figure
if everybody talking about those AC Infinities, man, those are amazing tents. Unfortunately, like I said, I just started into grow equipment like, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks ago, give or take. So it's been kind of one of those deals where I started feeding off another local shop. They were a couple hours away, and to find like a grow shop wholesaler is non-existent. You have soil, distributors, you have your Mars Hydro, your HLG, your this company, that company, and to find kind of a here it is all in one, that's non-existent for me. So was very grateful to hook up with a company or another store that's a couple hours out, and they provide me with basically everything all in one shot. So it works out really well for me.
Okay.
But nonetheless, we're doing Mars Hydro right now, and Secret Garden is usually the name of the brand that I keep in stock most of the time. Right now, we're down to some kind of makeshift because they were on backstock. So we have a brand right now called One Deal, but they're very reliable, very good little tents. I got a couple of them at home, in fact, and they do good too. So
okay.
I would prefer to get me some gorilla tents in here, but who wants to pay $500 for a 2x4? I'm in a little town of 15,000 people over here, man. There's not much around us, so it's kind of like.
I'm in that market right now, and I'm looking at gorilla tents, and then I look at something like, say, Spider Farmer and a couple other brands, and I can get 2 for that price. So
yeah, no question.
So that's why I want to do my research, because I don't know much about this stuff. And just I hear from anybody that's ever used these, like light leaks, and are they durable? Can they be broken down and moved? Because that's the reality is they might have to be broken down and moved repeatedly over a few years. And I don't want something like just to fall apart or the zippers rip in the first 6 months type stuff. If I'm going to buy it, I want it to last is the thing is throughout most of my adult life, I found like buying tools and stuff like that starting out. You try and save a buck here and there by, maybe not buying the one that you really wanted and getting the one below it or whatever. And you're really happy with it for like the first week. And then you find it doesn't really do the job quite the way you wanted it to, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't have the patience for that hassle now that I'm old and I'm trying to do proper grow equipment stuff.
And who wants to waste money buying tent after tent after tent, trying to experiment with it? Really, I mean, that's the biggest pain in the neck. I mean, nobody wants to throw away cash nowadays, especially. I mean, it's too hard to come by.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a 4x4 Vivo Sun at the house. It's done very good to me. I do have a little bit of zipper issues, like along the bottom end of the tent, just a little bit, but it's only when it catches like 1 out of every 5 times that I open up the tent a little bit.
Okay.
Otherwise, I've moved it around probably 4 or 5 times as well. And it really, I mean, the corners ain't rubbed out too bad. It's not a bad little tent. Light leaks are minimal. I mean, I get a little bit around the zippers, but I'm an auto guy. I don't do a lot with photos yet. I don't have the time. I'm 6 days a week in my shop. My one day that I take off, I'm running around picking up whether it's glass or grow equipment or who knows what. So I don't have time to really maintain photos and be in there checking on them too much. So I run a cool little wicking system. Run my autos really fairly and easily. And, you know, as far as light leaks go, little minimal light leaks around a zipper or a pinhole, you know, in the tent doesn't ruin my day. So for me, a Vivo or these, like I said, these brand that I got going on, or you know, some of the other mid-grade brands out there aren't horrible, but I've not seen a lot of them. So that's the biggest thing, is being able to, you could put a little cheaper Amazon light inside of a Vivo Sun and it's probably going to look great, but go throw a HLG 600 in there and see, you know, then tell me the difference once that baby's on full blast.
Yeah,
So-
well, I think I'm going with Canons. That's yeah. Wait, so I talked a little bit with Keith over at Black Sail, and I'm gonna go with yeah. We're either gonna go with 4x4, put 2 in there, or I'll get a 5x5 and throw 3 in there and just see what I can do. And I think, but I think I want 3 tents. So there's so I can have like a veg, a bloom, and then a breeding tent. And there's a good chance they'll all be sitting side by side. So the light leaks and stuff, I can't have that.
No question.
With each other. So it's
Yeah, see, I got a 2x4 and a 4x4 in the same room. I run my seedlings in the 2x4. The 4x4 is for my flower, but 90% of the time with my autos, I'm running 24 hours of light. I wait until usually through like my first week of flower before I kick into like an 18-6 light cycle. Because I want the plant to realize, hey, something's going on here. We need to start producing some buds. We're losing daylight. So I switch the light cycle up into, you know, just a little ways into flower, but I've only done about a half a dozen grows myself. I mean, not a whole big experienced grower over here. Like I said, my shop started as a head shop, man. We started as strictly glass, and I didn't know what road we were going to end up taking. I didn't have any intentions on doing CBD stuff, just because in our area, especially, there's a million different little CBD shops popping up here. One in the mall, one over here. The gas station carries CBD gummies. Literally the movie store up the road had CBD available. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to work with local people, an actual farmer who's done this, who knows what he's doing, who's experienced, and we carry a quality product as far as that goes. So I'm happy in that realm. But again, tents and me, I don't know. We're new to it, so I got to see where they go, see what customer reviews are as well too. You know, what works for me might not work for the next guy.
well, Steve's been sending me a couple links to those AC Infinity tents now too, and it's 30 Green Keys. Was that the guy you were that was posting it? And like the one like he was showing was like you get the AC Infinity tent with the fan and a filter and all that. And if these they seem to be about the same prices as everything else, half the price of a 4x4 Gorilla tent, right? Or half the price of the Gorilla 4x4, and it's so you get 2 for 1.
They make lights too.
Yeah.
So like with those, what they're advertising is, I guess, for light leaks and stuff like that for your tent, it's how it's woven and the amount that it's woven over in and out. And so theirs is supposed to be the highest by like a good percentage. They're supposed to be like several hundred over even the Gorilla tents right now. And I've been doing a little bit of homework on them, and they seem really nice.
Yeah. Well, I figure if you're gonna spend the money on it, you may as well. If it's half the price of like what is considered And like I said, I don't know much about this, but as far as I know, Gorilla Tent is kind of considered to be the best out there. So if you're
I got a Evo Sun 2x4 and it's great.
well, that's it. I've heard lots of good about those too. I just like
I got a high power though, and that thing sucks.
see. Thank you for telling us that, because that's what we want to know. Is if we don't want to be buying garbage or promoting garbage. So it's
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't know. The tent itself sucks, but I've heard good things about. I think they have inline fans and some other things that I've actually heard some pretty good things about.
I've got a 1,000-watt ballast of theirs, HPS. It works just fine. It's great. So I can shut
Well,
it.
I've got their centrifugal fan, like one of their exhaust fans, the big loud clunky one, but it pushes air. And I mean, it's been on for about 3 years and it's still pushing air.
Yeah.
See, now me, I'm the wrong person to ask about a tent. I went cheap. My wife got one on Wish. It's a 3x3. It's just, I think she paid $80 for it or something. And I mean, it's, does me fine. It didn't come with no AC Infinity fan, nothing like that. You just got the vents. You got to buy the other stuff yourself.
I'm looking to I got to get a 6-inch in AC Infinity. I got to get that I'm going to put that in my 3x3, take the 4-inch out of there, put that in my 2x4. I want to take the 2 Quantums out of the 2x4, but I don't know. I'm thinking about those Rapid Cool LEDs up in there, or I may just get the little puck supplementals, 2 100 watters, until I can get like the actual lighting system I want in there. But I got to get that 2x4 taken care of fairly soon.
See, my last grow, I ran 3 AK-47 autos. I got pictures of them up there on Cannabis. I mean, I ran it in a 2x4 with one HLG 100, man, and they did fantastic. I couldn't believe the quality that I got out of the HLG. Just that one little 100-watt light. See, that's exactly what mine looks like right now. I couldn't believe the quality I got out of that Quantum board, man. I had a lot of people talking them up, a lot of people, buying them from the shop, ordering them. Just wasn't sure if
they
I wanted to
work
run
great. They work great, but I need a little bit more penetration. Like I got these that I need to put in. These are just these little cheap ass shop lights, you know what I mean? But that's just for some good rays to jump on some bad rays type shit. And but yeah, so I definitely got to get it inline. I just have a big ass box fan behind it, just blowing air constantly. So yeah, it was unexpectedly brought back over here. It was supposed to be somewhere else, and so yeah.
Yeah, I love HLG thus far. I mean, I've looked into for my 2x4. I'd really like to get their little 300-watt. I think that would be very suitable for my 2x4. I just haven't decided to spend the money. I mean, even as a shop owner, lights are expensive, man. That's the bottom line. So it's kind of like, do I or don't I?
And that's why I got 2 of them in there, because it all just started with one hanging from my closet. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this. And then, because I was talking about it, and this dude sent me some nutrients and seeds and said, get to it. I was like, all right, well, guess I gotta, and I just started from there. And I've always wanted to, you know what I mean? It was just perfect timing for it all. But I did have to piece it together. It wasn't like I was able to just go drop $5,000 on a setup real quick.
That's exactly right. That's why I got my 4x4 Vivo. I mean, I started with that 4x4 Vivo and a 1,200-watt King LED off of Amazon. Like, let's run it and see what happens, Knew next to nothing about it. Figured, okay, look, everybody tells me to do it like this. Full spectrum lights, they work great. So I just kind of ran into it head on, and looking back at it, it was 100 and I don't know. I'm wanting to say that 1,000-watt or I think it was 1,000 or a 1,200-watt King LED. It was like $120, $130 or something on Amazon. And for the results I got out of that light, hell, I might as well have thrown that 100-watt HLG and just let it rip. I mean, it would have done the same thing, and I would have had at least a leftover good veg light long term. At this point, I've gotten rid of all that stuff. I sold them cheap, inexpensive lights here at the shop, and I upgraded my own system because I knew better.
I mean, I've been over by your area. I went to go visit Johnny and stuff like that, so I get it, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can't sit there and put some scorpions in there and expect them to jump out the door, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
But those quantums are great. I mean, I'm gonna keep them in my clone for a cloner, you know, no
Yeah.
doubt. And like it did, I had 2 auto harvests out of it already. They did fine. You know what I mean? It's just I just need, you know what I mean, just a little bit extra. So it's either I can keep those and add some supplemental puck lighting, or the only thing with that is so much heat. Those little quantums right there do put off a lot of heat. So if I add more heat in there, you know what I mean? That's just
Rocking a hard place, right?
you know, and it's about to be summer. I don't, there's no AC here. I'm going to have to get a window unit, you know what I mean? So.
See, luckily I had to move my grow to well, not luckily. I mean, my house smells like pot right now because I had to move the grow to the main floor. Which, I mean, it's cool for me. I own a bong shop, you know what I mean? But I'm a father of 5 kids, man. I got a lot of little shitheads running around the house, and it's like, okay, do I put the grow on the main floor? Do I keep it in the basement? But right now with wintertime, I couldn't keep it in the basement. I wasn't generating enough heat. But come summertime, if I keep it on the main floor, I'm going to have so much heat. I'm going to be able to, you know, keep and try to bottle it up for wintertime because it's just going to be too hot all day in there. So nonetheless, I always have to do a bouncing back and forth. And that's why I do tent growing, because I can't necessarily keep it in this space or keep it in that space year round for me. It's constantly having to bounce back and forth. But when you got kids everywhere from 4 to 16, you got to cover all your bases.
Yeah, no doubt. My biggest thing is I got a big ass comforter over right now for the light leaks. I got duct tape all over it too, black duct tape. I just tried to get it as best as I could, you know.
Hell yeah, man.
Especially since I started working, like that was the biggest, scariest thing in the world, you know, because I got the bench tent in there. I'm just in a studio, so I don't have much space, you know. So with that tent, and since I don't have a good ventilation, the perfect system yet, I don't leave it zipped all the way up, you know. So there's always gonna be lights shining type deal. And
I got an inline fan and all that carbon filter shit. I don't even use them, man. It's kind of, I mean, I use the inline fan to help circulate air through the tent, just because I want, you know, fresh air to stay in there and kind of keep moving around a little bit. But if I close that sucker up the way I've seen some people just every vent closed, the screens are closed off, lights just banging in there, and it's, I mean, you know, their temperature gauge and their humidity gauge looks all right, but their plants don't look like they're happy. But I mean, I use the inline fan when I need to pull air in and out, but nonetheless, I love my tent growing. You know?
Yeah, mine's getting to that point now where it's just like I kind of need a little bit of carbon filtration. You know what I mean? I'm going into week 6 here pretty soon in flower, so it's like straight up cookies and lime.
Need to get the fresh air rolling.
I love this smell coming in, but
see, yeah, I'm the lucky one. I can't smell it. I mean, unless I open the tent up, that's the only time I can smell my tent. My wife, she gets like 10 feet down the hallway. She's like, wow, I can really smell those already. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't smell nothing down here, you know? But yeah, she smells it. Me, unless I open up the tent, and I sleep in that room. And unless I open up the tent, I don't smell nothing.
Yeah, my whole hallway, bedroom, bathroom area, it all smells like pot, but you know, whatever. That's how it goes.
I mean, currently my whole house smells like pot, but you know.
Attaboy. Yeah, I mean, same here. The whole shop.
Normally, I don't get a smell at all. Like, I have to be super careful over here in Prohibition Land, so I don't get a smell at all through those carbon filters, exhausting straight to the outside.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a carbon filter. I don't have any kind of thing going. I just use the vents on the tent, man. Open up the vents.
Hey,
shut them up at night.
Drew, does your wife complain about the Chongo?
No, she doesn't complain. She said she thinks they smell good, but I mean, I'll tell you what, she can smell them way down the hall. Me, I have to be right in there when I open up the tent. That's when I can smell it. You know, when I get close enough to them, man, they're good and reeky then. But I mean, from 10 feet down the hall, I don't smell nothing.
So I want to throw out a question, and I don't know the answer, but maybe it's a old wives' tale. I don't know, but somebody told me at one point that it's possible if you have one of those carbon filters within your grow area, and it's circulating, that it can take out some of the terpenes in the air, or even from the plant. Is that correct? You're nodding your head.
I don't know.
Not
Does
so
it?
much.
I don't know if it can or not.
It's not going to strip it from the plant so much, but it is going to clean it in the air. And I say that just because that's literally how my whole grow room doesn't smell like drying pot right now. Is I've got that one 4-inch fan in a 12 by 10 room. I've got 3 or 4 bags of bud in there drying, and I don't smell a thing in the rest of the house. I really don't hardly smell it in the room. You walk in and it smells like you're blowing a carbon filter. And I mean, that's a 4-inch fan. One of the fans that I don't use for the tent because I've used it for 2 or 3 runs and they only last a run. And that's what's blowing and circulating in that room, making it not smell like pot.
Okay, so what you're saying then is if I set up that circulating carbon filter within the room, that I shouldn't be. I'll be destroying the smell from that room, but I won't be destroying any of the terpenes that are still affixed to the bud.
Right. You don't actually destroy terpene. That's not quite how it works. But essentially, the air that passes through the carbon filter is what gets cleaned. Since you're not slamming your plant through the carbon filter, it's not being cleaned. It's just the air around it that's being cleaned.
Okay.
Essentially, like, it'll clean it enough to take out, say, 90% of the scent. But I wouldn't say scrub just the room and then exhaust that outside in my prohibition state.
Yeah.
It cleans it enough. You and I definitely won't smell it. A non-smoker might catch a little hint. Smell something flowery in the air, but not quite be able to place it type thing.
Okay, cool.
And also it depends on your strain and how much you got growing too. You know, do you have 1 plant or do you have 6? And do you have a lemony light scent or do you have something that's like strong earthy skunk dank?
My babe.
Well, I got a couple more than 8.
We're going to say that I have less than 10 because that's what I will always say I have.
I have less than 5. So.
Hypothetically, if someone has 200 plants in their house, will this work? I don't know. Hypothetically.
I would say probably not. Well, how big's the carbon filters? How many of them are placed? But 1 in the whole house? Nah, fam. Nah, you going to jail.
Yeah, well, I've been just leaving it outside the room and trying to capture any of this odor coming through the door. But now I think I'll just stick it right inside the room in my drawing room.
Oh yeah.
So, Grow Guy, I'm curious about that CBD flower. In all my years of growing and longer smoking, I only came across CBD a couple of weeks ago, and it is blowing my mind. It's absolutely amazing. And by the way, congratulations on surviving this last year, man.
Thank you.
My hat off to you there. So I'm curious, do you have that? Is that tested, and does it tell you the proportion of CBD versus THC?
Yeah, so I don't have anything in front of me, but yeah, when the company that I work with bring me a COA, certificate of analysis, they let me, this way I got a breakdown of everything that's in it. I live in a small community. There's been, you know, smoke shops and stuff like that around gas station glass, you know what I mean? But there's never been really a shop like mine in the area that's doing everything that I'm doing, especially with the grow equipment and really kind of pushing the envelope with the cannabis industry. So when I started carrying these products and I decided, okay, I'm going to set a jar with a half a pound of CBD nugs on my front counter for the whole world to see. I sell that by the gram. I have a scale, a little pair of tongs, some little med jars that I hand it out in. And I do it, kind of old school, like I'm back in high school again, gramming out CBD at the front counter. So I decided at that point, I said, okay, we need to get a COA on hand. So if I got anybody comes knocking, or somebody gets stopped in their car and they got it on hand, and they're whatever might happen, given it's hard telling conditions, so I decided, that's something I needed to have, as well as the Delta 8 products that I carry. That's one of those, I can't wait for the day, or I'm assuming there's gonna be a day. I'm not gonna say I can't wait. I can definitely wait. I don't want it to happen. Where somebody gets stopped with one of those carts, or some little dickhead that came in here buys one for a 18-year-old kid, an 18-year-old kid gets caught with it, and they come back knocking on my door like I'm selling a regular THC card in here. Don't want that to happen, so I made sure I got all that stuff on hand, just to be as safe as possible, man.
Cool. Hang on.
So a lot of dab equipment out there.
But yeah, man, we move a little bit of everything. Like I said, I started off with just glass. So as far as dab and stuff goes, I mean, that's kind of the in thing right now. Everybody's dabbing. So everybody wants a little rig with a banger, and you got a reclaim set, you got this, you got that. It's dabs almost all the time. I would say 9 out of 10 people that are coming in for glass are wax smokers. If my rigs are set up with a flower bowl on them, they want the attachments for wax. That's just their go-to, it seems like, anymore. So we sell a ton of almost everything right now. I mean, I keep telling everybody when they come in and they're like, oh man, it looks like you're a little low on soil. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't keep shit in stock, which is an amazing problem to currently have.
I was gonna contact you about some of the soil. And do you carry like amendments and all that? I mean,
so I'm just kind of hitting the tip of the iceberg. As is right now, I basically have the whole Fox Farm lineup. We have Ocean Forest, Happy Frog, Strawberry Fields, the Cocoa Loco. We carry their Cocoa Pop, as well as the Light Warrior, which is their seed starter. So we got, basically the whole Fox Farm lineup. I do So-Hum, Pro Mix, and a couple other odds and ends. The Roots Organics, Lush, a whole bunch of odds and ends ones, man. So far as amendments go, we're only doing currently, again, Fox Farm and some fish shit. I've gotten very, very lucky to get fish shit reached out to me through the guy that I'm getting my grow equipment from. And he said, hey, look, this dude's been buying it from me. He's selling a shitload of shit. Call him up, see if he's interested in getting a direct line. So Fish Shit reached out to me. They said, hey, we want to send you samples for your customers, a banner, a t-shirt, all this stuff. They gave me a nice little welcoming gift, so to speak, you know what I mean? And we got that stuff in stock as well. So I'm trying to get to the dry amendments and making sure I get a larger lineup of stuff. But we got Big Bud, the Bud candies, things like that. Pretty much the common, everything that everybody wants, Cal Mag, all that good fun shit. And then,
will you ship?
What's that?
You got Sugar Daddy? I just ran out.
I'm not sure about if I have it in stock, but I've had it, yeah. So basically trying to grab what I can when I can. And I'm feeding off of another shop currently at the moment to be able to, I mean, this kind of all came on out of nowhere for the grow equipment. Bought a little, I started with a 3x3 tent, one HLG 100, and about 10 bags of soil a week before Christmas. I'm like, screw it, let's throw this in there, see if I can sell it for Christmas. And then next thing I know, I got people left and right rolling in like, hey, such and such said you got Happy Frog. This guy said you got some Ocean Forest.
I'm trying to get the guy. I got a smoke shop. I'm always there all the time, right around the corner from me. Literally, I'm there. I sell probably more shit out of there for them than they do themselves. You know what I mean? And so I've been trying to get. They just started selling seeds and Crop King seeds.
Okay.
Guys out in Canada, I think, right, Rick?
Yeah, Vancouver.
Yeah. So they sell a whole line of them. So I'm like, man, you guys need to put a tent in there, put a light in there. You guys, they go crazy around here for that stuff. You know what I mean?
So that's one of the things I want to get into is selling seeds. Like But here in Illinois, man, that's such like a not a gray area, but I mean, let me rephrase and backtrack. I can't sell seeds. I'd have to be able to gift souvenir seeds that are not meant for germination. But having it be that kind of a situation, it's so edgy for me to want to try it. I'm a small town, word gets around really quick. Illinois is an asshole state as is. And to put I got a great little shop going. I got a good little thing. I just don't want to put myself in jeopardy too much and have the cops around here decide to dig with me for no apparent reason. I've had a really smooth year with none of that kind of interaction, no naysayers. My logo has a big ass pot leaf right on my front window that's painted on there, as well as a nice size bong. And I don't have anybody coming like, hey, you can't have that on there. So I don't want to push it too hard before they're used to me being here. I just don't want to try to walk around tooting my horn without people, and getting people pissed off. So I got a line on things. I've talked to a few people as far as seats go. Man, it's such I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, I know here in Oklahoma, you can actually get a seed dispenser's license. And there, you can sell them right at the dispensary and stuff, but you got to have the license to do that.
Yeah, and see, Illinois is such shit too, because they're supposed to allow you to buy seeds at the dispensaries and stuff. There's no dispensaries that have them. I mean, you cannot purchase seeds anywhere in Illinois, like at a shop or in a store. There's of course guys like me in the area that are doing stuff like that, like 710 said, but it's just it's a shit situation. So it makes guys like me get put in this bind where, do I have it to offer for my customers, especially my medical customers that come in? I didn't mention, but I'm work with the doctor's office as well. I'm a consultant for them to help people obtain their Illinois medical cards so that they can have everything legit and legal. So long story short, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I want to push the envelope, but I don't want to push that envelope.
Yeah, for sure.
I've heard the saying,
So
the saying, squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? But that only gets you so far, because then it's like, because the shitty wheel gets replaced if you're making too much noise, right? So
That's exactly right. Yeah.
you want them to know you're there, but
Baby steps, man, baby steps. And before I forget to, real quick, hypothetical, man, thank you for the beans from the drawing the other day when you were the first time I think you were on the show. I was the number 23 winner, by the way, so much appreciated, man. I cannot wait to get those in the ground, by the way.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear you were number 23.
Yeah, they're sitting there, and they're going to go in the next lineup. I have some OG Kush that I'm going to throw in with those as well, that are going to be definitely on my next run. I'm like, okay, I got to get these going. I seen what Johnny's look like, and I'm like, we were just talking about it today. I said, well, I see what yours look like. Let's see what I can do with them. So we are giggling about it, and that's one of the things I love to do around here is growing and such is just starting to kind of take wave around here. So having so many buddies and friends that are getting into it as well, that are like, they're enjoying the hell out of it, and things like products like fish shit. Here, grow this plant with it, grow that plant without it, and see what happens. So like we're having a great time with it. I know Johnny's loving it. It's an amazing thing, man. So having those on hand, I'm ready to get them going.
One of the things.
Real quick,
Sorry, go ahead.
refresh me real quick. Which ones did I send you?
The Canicos.
Okay, just Scan and Co.
Yep, I'm ready to get them moving. Like I said, I got a few that were ahead of it, but I'm like, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and skip those ones for a minute, and we're gonna try this. Basically, I got some other stuff that I've done before, so I'm like, this is something new, and I'm very, very interested. See what happens.
This Scan and Co should go good next to that OG too.
Very good, very good.
Hypothetical, you've got some background stuff going on. You have some background stuff going on. It's coming from your noise. You got a background noise that, no?
Shouldn't, but
How
how about now?
Yeah. Don't. No, it's back.
I don't understand. I don't know what's going on, but there is a humming or something.
Yeah, it's some kind of a hum. It's like a bad mic connection or something.
I mean, I'm on my Bluetooth,
I
but
bet you it's the ceiling fan.
you know what? Let's just kill the Bluetooth then.
All right, how's that?
Much
Yeah,
better, much
that was
better.
it.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, damn it. It's time for a new Bluetooth.
So, Grow Guy, have you done any quality control checks on that CBD, and what's your reaction?
Almost tried to talk muted. So yeah, I do frequent quality control checks. I do very much enjoy a very good 1-to-1 ratio. Bottom line, like I tell my customers as well, THC is a psychoactivist for the brain, CBD is for your body, man. I got osteoarthritis in my shoulders. I worked at a slaughterhouse for 5.5 years, and ran a big old 120-pound split saw and beat the shit out of my arms and shoulders for several years. So now that I'm that sore all the time, I was that guy that was like, CBD, yeah, screw that. I'll smoke the real thing, man. I don't want none of that stuff. Then again, like I said, about 6-8 months ago, I had a local farmer come walking through the door. He's like, here, would you be willing to carry this product? And I said, yeah, not really. He goes, look, let me leave you with some samples. Here's some tincture. Here's a few of the pre-rolls. Here's some of what the flower looks like. Check it out, see what you think, and let me know. So I said, okay, I'm going to give this a for real run. I'm going to be, legit about it. The next day I woke up, I didn't smoke any actual bud. I went straight to smoking the CBD, trying out the tincture, see what happens with this. Let me see, what does it do for me as an everyday, all day pothead? And let me see what it actually does. So I smoked, throughout the afternoon, smoked the pre-rolls, tried the tinctures, and I'm like, dude, this is actually not that bad. And then I realized the pressure that I usually feel in my shoulder and such was going away slowly but surely throughout my day. So a little bit later, the CBD guy had told me, he says, try a 1-to-1, see what you think then. So I went, man, if that did that well, let me try a 1-to-1. So I started doing that, and now it's more and more frequent for me. My wife as well, she really enjoys the CBD. It's one of those things that we keep in our diet, so to speak. I mean, I love it. And the more people that I promote it to and tell them to do what I was just saying, that 1-to-1, I get people coming in buying quarters and half ounces, and on a weekly or every other couple of day basis. It's frequent, it's all the time, and people love it, man. It's amazing. So I enjoy the hell out of it.
Do you see CBD or CBG is one more popular than the other?
Currently the CBD, but only because I just started carrying the jar worth of the CBG. Previously, I only had pre-rolls of the CBG. So it was like they're $8 for a pre-roll of the CBG. And now I have the just, grams out of the jar for $7. But when the CBD was only selling for $5 a gram, people were like, $8 for a pre-roll or a $5 gram that's just not in the joint paper. I'll take the gram by itself. Actually, let me get 2, and I'm only spending $2 more than that stupid little pre-roll. That was the thought process anyway. But now that I have it on the counter in front of them, those are little pop top, they got a little rubber seal around them to keep the freshness in. But you pop that top and give it a whiff. That's what everybody's like, oh, well, that's just CBD or whatever, what's it smell like? Oh, I bet you it smells like swag. And I'm like, well, here, check that out. And I pop that top, and before their face gets to it, they're smelling it. And they're like, oh, well, then they lean down and give it a good whiff, and they're going, shit, that. And they look at their friend like, hey, come check this out real quick. I can't believe what this smells like. So then they take my advice. They try that 1-to-1, and they come back a few days later after they bought 1 gram, and they went, I just bought an eighth from the dispensary. What's 3 grams of that going to run me? So what I do for people is, like I said, I sell it for $5 a gram, or if they come in 1 1/8, I'll throw them an eighth for $15. And it's an all day, everyday thing, man. It's great. Like I said, it's kind of like being back in high school. I'm in here, gramming little things out and got a scale at the, at the head shop, waving at the cops as they drive past, so it's like, yeah, okay, I like this. It's a great thing though, man. I enjoy the hell out of it.
Cool.
Get
And,
with
you
me
like
on
meat?
Cannabis, please.
What's that?
Get me with me on Cannabis. I've got 4 1-to-1s right now.
Will do. I've actually taken serious consideration here lately into taking some of the seeds out of the jars that I have and trying to throw some of them in the tents that I have back there. I'm just worried that, I mean, again, it's a head shop / grow shop. Anybody walking in here is not going to give a shit that those plants are sitting there. But the wrong person tells the wrong Captain Dipshit, and next thing you know, the fuzz are knocking on my door going, hey, you're not supposed to have that in there. And I just don't want to have any headaches. But man, I would so badly love to grow a little CBD plant right there in the back of the room and
Could you
just
do
have it for display. What's that?
you have a back room that you could put a tent in?
Yeah, so if you look to this side of the room, there's actually a bar here. This used to be a restaurant. So
Okay.
back the opposite way, that kind of back behind that 3x3 that's over there, there's a doorway that leads to what was a commercial sized kitchen. So there's a very large room back there that has the industrial grade hood. So if I go back there and fire one up and turn the hood on, all the smoke goes straight up out of the ceiling. You can't see anything. You can't smell anything, but I'm kind of been on that zero fucks lately. We smoke right out here in the main room. Like Sweet Johnny come to visit me, he'll come in and pop a squat right there on the bar stools. We'll pass one around and just kind of hang out through the day. Customers come through the front door and we just kind of keep moving, man. I mean, nobody's going to come into the head shop that's going to complain about the place smelling like weed. And if some asshole walks by and happens to notice it, then yeah, whatever, so be it. If the cops come knocking, Illinois state laws state that there's no tobacco or marijuana allowed to be smoked indoors. They don't say shit about hemp. So I like to find those little loopholes. Yeah, it smells like CBD in here.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the jar of CBD sitting right out there in the open, plain to see, hey, look, we're selling this shit. Like,
yep, CBD sitting on the front counter, pre-rolls inside the glass cases. I mean, there's not a lot that they can say to me at that point.
yeah.
So, and I'm an Illinois medical card holder as well. So if they were to come in and say anything, I medicated in the back room a little bit ago. I forgot to turn the hood on. I apologize. The smell lingered out here. I didn't even notice. So I got a million little, excuses that I can use. But again, I'm a member of the local Chamber of Commerce, trying to stay productive within the community and show them that a pothead isn't what they think a pothead is.
I like it.
I got, like I said, I got 5 kids, 4 to 16 years old. My kids are all great students, athletes. I got a 15-year-old that's like 5'11" and deadlifting 435 pounds right now because he's an absolute goddamn monster. So nonetheless, I have productive kids. I'm a productive guy. We're good people. Just because I smoke weed doesn't mean I'm like, God, I'm not like old Sweet Johnny with horns tattooed on my head or nothing,
Well, I got to give you my hats off to you. If you can run a business and still have time for a city council and a family, you're doing really well, my friend.
Oh, look, don't let me fool you. I do not have the time. My head is spinning most days, but we make it work, man. I got a good support system. My wife's amazing. She's got my back through everything. If I got to run to go get glass or I got to go get grow equipment, she's here covering the shop for me. We do very well. So I'm, like I said, we're grateful and happier than hell to be here. I'll tell you that.
Cool.
I gotta eat one of these cookies down. I get butter from old Johnny too. I'm always calling him up like, hey man, I seen that picture you put up. Why don't you bring a big chunk of that butter over here and I'll trade you a bag of soil back here. So I go ahead and make myself cookies and shit out of his butter to bring here to the shop. So like things like this here, this is if you came in shopping today and you bought something, this is what you got sent home with on your way out the door. If it was you and 2 buddies, everybody got a cookie. So it's kind of little things I like to do. And again, nobody's gonna whine or complain about it. You know what I mean? Everybody's pretty happy to walk out the door with a damn cookie. So they're gonna tell their friends, so their friend comes in and buys a bong too. So it works out great.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like your little self-promotional styles and stuff like that. You're just willing to bend the rules just a little bit, not too much, but get your foot over here.
Yep.
You got to take a chance, right? Nothing tried, nothing gained. So, but like at the same time, you can't go too far, like you're saying. So it's I like what you're doing, man.
I'm a firm believer. If I'm not moving forward, I'm not going to say I'm going backwards, but I don't like to be spinning my wheels in the mud. I want to be moving forward. I want to make momentum all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I've in my line of work, like I've always considered myself like a momentum-based worker. If you can get me going with my wheels turning, I'll keep that momentum going all day and then some. But if it's one of those days where you can't get it going for whatever reason, your head's not in it, or just sometimes it's just one of those days, it's it's like nothing gets done. It's just funny.
Yeah, we went from, like I said, very minimal. Like I got, I think, 6 cases of glass stuff in here. We went from barely having the shelves full a year ago to slammed full store with grow equipment. So I mean, forward momentum all the time. Like I said, I'm wanting to bring the seeds in. I'm wanting to keep pushing the limits. My next step is really kind of doing like the after product. Rosin presses, bubble hash machines, butter makers, things like that. That's kind of the route that I want to go. I just haven't got there yet. So one thing at a time, man. One thing at a time.
I like it.
That's really cool.
Well, I appreciate it. Really, I do. And thanks for having me. Let me hang in and come in and meet everybody, man. I've been sitting here in the chat like I need to meet these guys.
Well, and actually, you mentioned something, I think, in a comment section of one of the posts I put up saying you were going to jump on this Friday, too.
Yep.
And then I didn't even think to put the the post on to make it easy. So thanks for being awesome and even figuring it out, because I was just like, ever I get the notification up in my top right corner when someone wants to jump on, I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't even put that out in chat yet either. So that's awesome.
That's cool, man. My shop actually closes 8 p.m. my time and the show starts 8 p.m. So I'm like, this works perfect. I can hang out here. I don't have little asshole kids running around in the background purposely like knowing dad's on a camera. So they're going to jump through and pull a Stewart like, look what I can do, in the background. So it's worked out nice. I told Johnny, man, one of these nights we're going to have to keep coming in on Friday nights. And one of these nights he's going to have to come hang out with me so we can get nice and baked up here at the shop. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're raking me over the coals in the chat, man.
Uh-oh.
What we got here? Oh, yeah. Raider Dank Vader says, Uncle Rick is an OG. And Hurtin Albertan says, the motor turns over just now a little bit slower.
It's funny you say that. My wife always says while we're sitting there watching the show, I got you guys up on the TV in the bedroom most nights while we're sitting back there burning one. And she'll look at Rick just kind of sitting there and she'll go, hey, is that guy sleeping? I say, no, I said, look, he's good. He's real caked. That's just how that goes. I mean, he's allowed to do that. Calm down.
Yeah.
No.
One night he was.
The truth is, I did fall asleep the other night. Yeah.
That's
Got into the edibles, and but I watched it the next day. I thought, "Fuck, you are sleeping, man," because I don't recall sleeping. But I looked at myself, going, "You're fucking sleeping."
Did you go back and watch the episode?
You had an edible nap.
Of course, I gotta.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That just makes it so much better.
You know what I gotta say too? Hey, Blazing Asian, how you doing, man?
Going on, man.
Good to see you.
There he is.
Jason, what's up?
I gotta tell you though, when we Caribou, when you and I first started doing this, you were editing. You do the whole thing and then you'd edit it, and it's time consuming. And that's why one of the reasons you decided to go live. And at first I thought, but it is kind of cool. Like everything you see is spontaneous. It's not rehearsed. It's just like, and it makes it a little more, I don't know, real. It's cool. I really enjoy it.
Well, best thing I like about the Friday night scenario too is you get someone like the Grow Guy just jumps on. We've never met you before, and then you're awesome. You just like that. Like how long have you been on? I haven't even been paying attention, but it's just like you know, like you just letting us know all about you, what you're about, your business, and like by all means, to anybody else that's watching, like this is literally what the Friday nights are for. Like, is if you've got something to say, come on and say it. Like,
I feel like I know you guys all already. I watch you talk every week, 2-3 times a week. I watch you guys shooting the shit. I see your grows on Cannabis. I'm like, man, I feel like I half-ass know you guys. So I figured that's why I said I want to jump in chat, get to know you guys a little bit better, and so you guys get to know me and what we got going on. And I'll keep hopping in here, man. I enjoy this kind of thing. This is actually my first time ever doing any kind of Zoom, face-to-face, any kind of YouTube type of shit. I've never done anything like this. So I'm like, these guys are all cool as hell. I enjoy watching them. I need to hop in here. Like I give Johnny a pat on the back all the time for introducing me to the app and showing me you guys, man. It's a great time.
thanks for your support. We appreciate it because like every once in a while we'll get like a new follower where it becomes like all of a sudden we see them all the time. Crazy Pot Mom, she's one that's just like all of a sudden she showed up on the radar in a big way, and it's like we appreciate. And don't get me wrong, we appreciate all the supporters, but like we noticed you right away is what I'm getting at because you're there every show, and like we're hearing from you. You're commenting on Cannabis, and it's just like we love it. Awesome.
I like communities like this, man, and that's really what the cannabis community in general is. In my opinion, that's what you see the most of is I mean, in a lot of other industries, I worked at a tattoo shop for, I don't know, about 8 months as an apprentice. There was about 4 tattoo shops in that town, and this shop hated that shop, hated this shop. None of them got along. And you don't see that really in the cannabis industry. You're willing to show your secrets about how you grow well as, my customers come in. I'm telling every person that I can, here's how to do this. Here's what I find works well for me, but start here and find your notch. I'm willing to share anything and everything that I can with people. So that's the cannabis community, man. That's what we're all about is, just giving each other a pat on the back and keeping things rolling for the next guy, man.
Well, to kind of go along with that is like with sharing all your knowledge, we could each take kind of identical setups, right? So take the same tent, same fans, etc., same lights. I could do that at my house up here in BC. You could do it at your house in Illinois. Same clone. Take clones off the same plant and everything, and you're going to end up with little bit different scenarios, right?
No question.
Doing everything. So, like, why be so afraid? It's like I used to see it on a lot of job sites where you go to a job site and the people that are more experienced, they're afraid to train you because they think it'll make you more valuable than they are. Right? It's like, well, if you're good at what you do, you shouldn't be afraid, first of all.
No question.
But it's just it's that kind of behavior and attitude I don't like, where it's like you said, it's not like that here. It's just completely different.
Yeah, buddy.
They're up.
And that's what attracted me to it. Like, I mean, a lot of times you'll see guys like yourselves hopping in and doing a little show like this. And then if you watch the chat, you get 1 or 2 guys in the chat that are, really kind of helping promote and being cool. But then you got those 3 or 4, naysayers in there that are really kind of throwing a wedge through everything. And every week when I'm in chat, sitting there talking and following, it's everybody's cool as hell. I mean, everybody in the chat. There's not that one big dick that sticks out of the crowd. Like, man, I wish this guy would just go away. You don't have that with you guys. So like I said, I appreciate every bit of it, man.
Right.
It's awesome.
It's fun. And like, and the great thing is there's like a lot of the people in chat are people that are there every show. So you get to know them a little bit better, and we're hoping to get a lot more of them to start coming on as they get a little bit more comfortable. We've had people reach out and just say, we're not ready to be on camera yet, but I'd like to at some point. And it's like, yeah, just let us know when, kind of thing, and we'll let you on. Absolutely.
I should have done this sitting in a normal chair.
Right now for tic-tac-toe. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I'm sorry, guy. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, I should have sat in a normal chair. I keep wanting to do this in my office chair, and I feel like Dr. Evil over here spinning around in this chair like I'm probably driving everybody nuts because I'm not sitting the fuck still.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but
I do the same thing when I'm in mine though, because I'm fidgety. I don't sit still very well. So to just sit there and just try and focus, it doesn't. So it's like always.
I can focus like hell. I just know that if this chair moves, I'm gonna sit here and fucking move it for the next half hour.
I focus on things, but only for a short period, and then I focus on something else, and then I focus on something else.
That's why about 3/4 of us smoke pot, I think, is to help us stay focused on that when even in that spontaneous shit, we stay focused for 5 extra seconds and it helps out.
For real.
yeah,
You know, I was
I'm
gonna
great.
say, like, about like knowledge that doesn't get shared, you know, is knowledge that's lost. And I just think it's so great. I mean, like, I don't know, like you said, Caribou, I found you guys thanks to Johnny posting on Cannabis. And like, I just like you said, girl guy, it's just, you know, been like everyone helping you up, helping each other, you know what I mean? Like there's no reason not to help each other out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just find it so common throughout the whole cannabis community that wanting to help each other. It's really cool. And it was a pretty smart thing for Hugh Grow and them to start this cannabis because it attracts like people and people that just really genuinely want to help each other. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's like you keep saying, it's just wow, like the amount of friends that we've made in a short period of time, but not just like the amount of friends, but like good friends, like I talk to you guys every day, and if I don't talk to you one day, then it seems like I'll talk to you a few more times the next day, kind of things, oftentimes, or at least a few more text messages back and forth, kind of thing, just as almost to make up for it. It's or at least in the group chat, like that's the other good thing, is that group chat that we have for everybody that's on here on the regular. And we're gonna have to start up another one because Sam's on here all the time, so there goes even yet another one. So that he's out of the loop, right? So we bounce ideas off each other and stuff like that, because you imagine trying to do that with like nine different people, like individually, like, oh, I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. I have a hard time.
The original idea we try to come up with usually gets lost within our conversations go south pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is when I get out of work and I see 223 messages, I know damn well I ain't reading every one of them.
I know it is just
well, I started my drive at, like I was saying earlier, like 1:20 or 1:45 a.m. my time, and it was these 7.5 hours later that I got here, and there's something like 124 messages on that. That's like, I realize you guys are 3 hours ahead of me, but that's still like pretty earlier in the day. That's when that's all happening. This is great.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Caribou, there wasn't no talk after you and I spoke this morning for a while. It took a long time before anybody else woke up. Then once they all hit up,
them gummies had me tore up last night. I'm not gonna lie, I slept in till what, about 6:30 today, something like that. I don't ever sleep in that late.
Slept in till 6:30, you said?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just old schedule, dies hard.
I used to be the same way, man, but luckily doing this most of the time, my wife's amazing. She gets up with the kids most mornings, takes them off to school and all that stuff. So getting up early for me is like 8 a.m.
The last 2 mornings, like, fuck, man, I went to like the local coffee shop yesterday because I was out of coffee, forgot to get it. It was closed. What kind of coffee shops close at 7 a.m.? Like, I specifically waited until 7 to leave so they would be open. You know what I mean? Like,
that piss you off.
what? So I had to, and then I just got super baked yesterday and forgot to get coffee. So I had to go out and venture again this morning. Yesterday was a doozy. I'll tell you what, man, that was awesome. My buddy came by. He had got one of those new bucket bangers, you know, the round bottoms, and he had picked up some new dab. Yeah, so we were going dab crazy, and next thing you know, I'm like, oh shit, I got class. I forgot I had class. I forgot.
Oh,
And then
but-
I had eaten 3 of Prophet's gummies. Those things had me tore up. Man, I'll tell you what, those things are nice.
I'm sorry, I just got to pipe in here. Fluffy kids in there. My God, these fuckers start blowing up my phone at 4 a.m. It's unreal.
No doubt.
Well, it's funny because I'm like Rick and I, we're the last ones to get up in the group being on the West Coast, and like we're both early risers. I'm up usually 3 or 4 a.m. oftentimes. And it's not uncommon for there to be like 40 messages already by that.
I know.
Not an everyday thing, but it's definitely not uncommon. It's like that's what I love because it's usually something so stupid and ridiculous, and that's like the first thing you see when you open your eyes that you can't just help but like get one of those deep down belly laughs. Like before you even get out of bed, it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be a good day today.
So it was sometime today that Drizzt said, God, I got 223 messages here. Can somebody like nutshell it for me? And so Prophet said, okay, Caribou is on a road trip, and Rick checked in, and I cleaned my house and a couple other things. And then Drizzt comes back and says, okay, 223 messages for nothing.
Well, I made it on the road trip, so
There's some good stuff in there. You know,
You
like
spent a
every
lot
once
of
in a
time
while.
off that road trip. You told me it was going to be an 8-hour trip, and I saw when you got back. You posted at 11 my time. I know that was no 8-hour trip, bro.
well,
You made that like 6 hours.
I think it was about 7. It was closer to 7, I think. It was almost 2, and it was about 9ish by the time I got here. So, but I cut about an hour off in the first 3 hours because I didn't have kids yet. So it was okay to drive like a nutcase, and then the kids are about the halfway mark. So I grabbed them, and after that, it's okay, time to take it easy. And there's not much shaving time off that they're at that part of the trip anyway. So, but
Yeah.
it's a good thing about driving like that late at night is there's not many people on the roads, so it's just
Yep.
So Crazy
Hey, listen
Pop in the house. And actually, that was the first time I met her was when she was on, and that was the time I got into the edibles and fell asleep. But that's a story for another day. But anyways, during when Crazy Pop Mom was on, she was talking about a mother plant. I could listen, I just couldn't speak. So she was talking about a mother plant and what to do about it. And I was curious what size pot that the plant was in. If she's going to have a mother plant, she'd want to, at least a 5, maybe even a 7, possibly a 10-gallon transplant. Anyway.
But yeah, I'd say depending on just how big you're letting it get before you flip it in room stuff. For a while, there was a couple cycles where we got into using 20-gallon pots and had a really nice harvest off of that. And look, then we could have tweaked that really well and probably done like 2 plants per pot and gotten really good coverage out of that, maybe 3 plants, and just to, because the first time you do it and you're just looking for your canopy spaces, and yeah, another plant in there bent out that way would have filled that gap, when you start just playing that game. And
Fill in the blank.
that'd be interesting. Yeah, 'cause like we're saying with the living soil game, and you just like keep the bigger battery, and yeah, the 20 gals seem to work better. But I want to the sip pots is what I'm doing next. I'm gonna concentrate hard on that, and gonna
We.
hard sip pots living soil.
Oh yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna go. I am super
Oh.
baked. I did the cannabis, hang Zoom, whatever, and then I had to run and go get a blunt wrap and some soda, and now I'm here, and I am fading fast.
You're doing
Yeah,
great.
it's time for this old man to go to bed too. I got to get up in the morning and go to work. So you guys have a good
Hey.
night. I'll see everybody later.
Hey
Good to
guys,
see
well,
you,
Hey,
Jason.
guys.
Thanks for dropping by, buddy.
to tell you all the truth, I just typed out a few minutes ago that we were gonna shut it down in 10 minutes here because I'm on the road. I got my kids with me, and I gotta, I've been here with 2 hours for y'all with y'all, having a great time, I might add, but I gotta go do the kid thing and hang out with mom and dad for a bit. So if
Awesome, guys. Well,
Right
nice
on.
meeting everybody. Take it easy.
hey,
Thanks
come
for
on
having me
back,
again,
eh?
man.
We
Well,
want to
guys.
talk to you more and see more of what you got, and
Yeah, I'll set up from some different angles each time I'm in here. Let you guys see a little bit more and more. I'll end up doing this from the house as well, man. You'll see the insides and ins and outs and ups and downs of things. I'll like I said, I'll come and hang out whenever you're doing the open sessions here, man, and say what's up.
yeah, every Friday, and then like I said, it seems every once in a while during the week if I'm living in a hotel working kind of thing, because I seems like I'm going to be doing a lot of that probably in the near future. So when we do have those ones, we'll make those open to everyone too, I think. And,
Hell yeah, man. Sounds great to me. You can count on seeing me more and more, man.
awesome, excellent.
Appreciate you coming out, man. It was really cool.
Yeah, great.
Thanks for having me. Like I said, I appreciate it,
about
guys.
you for a couple weeks now too. Just like, who's this guy? Like, showing up all of a sudden. It's like I said, you get those people that just show up on the radar and like.
Yeah, and I shared it on my Facebook as well right before I hopped in here while I was trying to figure out what the hell the Zoom link was. And I'm going over here like, okay, I'm going to share this. I'm going to hit that button. So it's hard telling. Hopefully, I'm going to start sharing the shows each time I see the posts up on Cannabis and stuff. And
Cool.
I'll see if we can't get some of my followers following you. So I like building a perpetual cycle, man.
I'm all
Just
about
like my plants.
promotion. Absolutely. It's like use my platform, you use yours, everything, just
Oh, I know a lot of
I'll
my
check it out.
guys, a lot of the people that are from my area, just like me and Johnny, man, they're gonna love you guys as much as we do. So I like promoting people that I like to people that I like.
Like to hear that. And thanks for the support. That's awesome too. And more Illinois support. I've said that a few times. Is got a huge following, it seems, in Illinois. So
Yeah, it looks like it, man. There's quite a few of us in here. Hell yeah.
yeah, and Sweet Johnny, he's up at the top of the list. My brother's been here. They always in the chat. They're glad to see he's back and feeling better. So
Yep, he seems to be getting more and more about his usual self every time I see him. So
yeah, I bet.
Great to hear. Good to hear.
Okay, guys. Well, I think
right.
we'll shut her down. And
have a
everybody,
good night, guys.
thank you so
Okay,
much for
good night.
joining us.
Okay.
Hypothetical, thanks for jumping on again, man. We love you, brother. DP,
Oh yeah, night
great
Caribou.
to
I
see you.
appreciate you.
Rick, I love you. You're one of my favorite people in the world right now. I love all you. Thank you
Right
so
on,
much.
buddy.
And we'll see you Sunday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, for the Sunday morning wake and bake. We're going to be doing that up. And it's looking like we should be able to do one the following weekend too, I believe. So that's good news. That's good news.
I'm pretty sure I can make the Sunday mornings. Yeah, Sunday nights I might not be able to, but Sunday mornings, yes.
Okay. Well,
Oh, yeah.
Good on, man.
All right. Well, y'all have a great evening.
all right.
And
All right, bye.
good night to everybody in the chat. And please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And good to see you, Caribou. Have a great weekend with the family.
Will do.
And what are you back at it Tuesday?
Yeah, I'll be back Monday. I'll be in town Sunday night to grab a hotel room, back to work on Monday, kind of thing, and just to the grind.
Well,
But
you
then
should-
I shall be around all the following weekend. We should get together at some point.
Or you should consider instead of getting a hotel, stay at my place.
That's an option. That's an option. Okay. I'll be in touch. Yeah, that's definitely an option.
Okay, have a great night.
Okay, Rick, thank you. And okay, everybody in chat, thank you too. We love you. And see you Sunday, 6 a.m. my time. Not sure what the time that is where you are.